Thank you. You all didn't get your little notification. Thank you for catching me on that. So again, excited for today, and I'm so glad we got connected, Allison. That one, I want to say thank you for your Go Give heart. Thank you for pouring into the whole Mary Kay community because literally it's every division. Their ink could still be wet on their agreement all the way to national sales directors. I know some take it and they have units in other countries and they share our lunch and learn, which is such an honor. And I'm flabbergasted by this thing and how much it's gotten. But here's what I love. It's all like minds coming together, some inspiration, some fresh ideas from different divisions that we would probably never get to meet normally. Allison, what division are you in?
I am part of the diamond division.
Okay.
Whoops, my phone just fell. Hold on one second.
No,
Okay.
you're fine. You're fine.
Technical difficulties. But yes, I'm from the diamond division.
Love that. Okay, good. So I know everyone just kind of switch some things up in different, since seminars. So I always like to ask and not assume you're where I thought you were.
Yeah.
Allison was willing to, when I reached out to her, she's like, I'm in. And so I want you to know this is, I think Mary Kay Ash would love something like this, and she would be so. I know she's happy in heaven knowing that her sister sales directors are feeding into everybody because, like I said, it's every division, every group, every level. But we're all coming together, and I love that. And so, thank you for your Go Give heart and just loving her company and working with integrity and being willing to give to so many people with really nothing in it for you other than just your heart and doing that. So I just want to thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you again. And I'm going to be quiet and let you take over. I never share anything else when I introduce people because it might be part of your training and I never want to take away from that. And so I'm going to let you take over, my sweet friend, and I'm going to work this background.
I love it. So really quick question. Is this just directors or is it consultants, senior consultants, directors, like all levels?
All levels,
Oh, this is
everybody.
so fun. Okay, this is
Yes.
awesome. Okay, you guys. Well, my name is Allison Gibbs, and a really quick little backstory here for you is I joined Mary Kay about 5.5 years ago, and I joined for the discount. Like the only boundary I had was to tell my then director, Grace Lemke, and if y'all know her, you're gonna be like, you told her what? But I told her, don't call me, don't text me, don't expect anything from me because I want nothing to do with this other than a discount for myself. It was girl math, right? Like I was gonna say 50%. Well, fast forward 2 years later, I became a car driving sales director. It was honestly a prayer answered that I didn't even know I was praying. I quit my full-time job and I have never looked back and never been more excited to be a part of this company. And I'm gonna forewarn you guys, I call it passion, but a lot of people say, Allison, you geek out. So there may be times in here that I geek out, just smiling on, make me feel special, and we're gonna go with it. Now, how this all came about is I have a friend, well, like Jennifer said, we have a mutual friend, Kat Van Dusen, and I was telling her I had done 101 faces in a day. And I said, man, I'm like, I said, I have so many people questioning me, asking me. I said, I wish that I could had a bigger platform that I could just get out there and train so that it wasn't like on repeat all the time. And she's like, oh my gosh, you got to get connected with Jennifer. She is amazing. And Jennifer, you are. So thank you so much for having me. This is really exciting and I'm just thrilled to be here. So to first start it off, you guys, if you're sitting there thinking like, whoa, 101 faces in a day, like no, that's not me. Like you're cringing at the thought of even people coming into your house. Let me be very clear. In doing this, you guys, I really tapped into who I was, what my strength set was, what brought me the most joy. So my prayer for you today, you guys, is that you're going to pull bits and pieces and you're going to be able to take it and run with it and who you are and who God made you to be. All right. So if you're someone who's like, dude, I can't do 100 faces in a day, but I could do 100 faces in a month, or maybe you have a unit and you're like, I could get my girls together and we could rally and do 100 faces or 150 faces in a week. That's the idea of it. Okay. And if you're a consultant thinking, holy crap, I don't think I know 100 people, right? Think about stretching yourself and maybe do 10 faces in a day or 20 faces or 30, whatever that number is. You take it and you run with it. And again, my prayer is that you're going to be able to pull bits and pieces from this and just make it your own. With that being said, I want you guys to know that I'm going to share my boards link with Jennifer so she can post it when she uploads this video to her YouTube and she can put it in there. I have created a boards, and you don't have to pay for it. You can have a free boards and you can access like 2 or 3, I believe it is. In that boards is a 1 hour training of the ins and outs. I'm going to give you kind of the Reader's Digest version. And then there's also template links. There's all my graphics. There's scripts. There's verbiage. There's links like Amazon links or things that I bought. So again, if you're like something, you're like, oh, I totally want to use that. You can go and you can grab it. And I will say this too: bees are my thing right now. They are my theme for the year. So if you're someone who's like, oh, I don't like bees, I like butterflies, just change the graphic. Okay. If you're like, oh, yellow is not my color, okay, change it to pink. All right. Like, but the basis is there for you to take and run with. And again, make it your own. So, what's really important, a lot of people are like, whoa, where did this come from? Like, where did this idea of 100 faces come from? Well, there's 2 directors, and I apologize, I do not remember their names. So if somebody knows them and they can put them in the chat, I want to give credit where credit's due. But one of them did a 50 faces, I'd say about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. And I was on a training and I was like, wow, I just admired her grit for that. She stepped up to the plate. She did 50 faces. By the end of the day, she still needed some. She went out to eat. I think it was like an Olive Garden or something. And she ended up facialing the waitresses. And I was like, whoa, way to bring it home. Okay. And that was when God first planted a seed in me. And you know how sometimes God plants a seed and you're like, ooh, I'm going to run with that. But then you procrastinate. And then there's other times where he plants a seed and you're like, oh, it's just not the right time. Well, that's where I was at. I love the idea, but it just was like maybe in the future. So then fast forward to May of last year, one of my friends out of the blue, another director friend from Florida, sends me this training from a girl who did 61 faces in March. And she was doing this training. And I will tell you what, I was so excited to listen to her training. I even remember I was at my cabin, I was doing dishes, I was playing it, and I was going, oh my God, like legit out loud, thinking, I could totally do that. I mean, she had me at balloon arch and cookies. I was like, heck yeah, that is totally me. Okay. And so I was so excited. And I'm like, okay, I think God's calling me to do so, do a big day like this. And how many of you guys have ever felt him like pull at your heart and be like, girl, you need to get your butt moving? Like, not just like start, trudging along. It's like, those commercial or those cartoons back in the day where they light like the cartoon character, their butt on fire and they're like, woo, and then they take off. Like, that's what I was feeling I needed to do. And at the beginning of the year, God put something super, super big on my heart. And I was like, I don't know how this would ever happen, but okay, if it's God given, it's God driven, we'll figure this out. So I'm going to seminar and I'm thinking about this 61 faces. And I'm like, well, I could break the record at 62. I don't really know what the record is, for company, but 75, no, 100. And all of a sudden it was like 100. I'm like, 100 face day. Like, I got really excited about 100. So when I say, you guys, if 100 is not your number, if God's putting something else on your heart and saying like 20, 30, take that number and run with it. Okay. That's where you're going to start. And so I remember I'm in the plane and I'm looking at my calendar going, well, when could I actually do this? And when you start connecting with God, it's a different frequency. Suddenly you're doing things that you don't even know why you're doing them, like things that would be difficult or take a lot of energy. Suddenly it's done. And I will tell you what, I was in a training at seminar and I was talking to the trainer and all of a sudden I blurted out, I said, I'm going to do 100 faces in 3 weeks. And she's like, good for you. Like, where did that come from? I'm like, well, now that I told her, I kind of have to go back to my seat and figure out when this is going to be done. And what's crazy is I opened my calendar up and I had already put in there August 16th on 100 face day and my time slots. And I'm like, when did I do it? Like, seriously, different frequency, could not even think about when I did that. And so I was like, well, okay. And so we got back from seminar on a Sunday and I was like, okay, well, now I'm less than 3 weeks and I'm going to launch this. And I knew in my heart of hearts, it was to launch my business to a whole new level. Like, I just needed that jump start. The second is that I needed to obey God, right? And put my trust in something bigger than myself. The third thing is that I wanted something that I could do and then map it out for individuals like yourself, right? That you could take it and you could run with it, because you know what? It's impossible until somebody makes it possible. And I'm for one too, I'm really tired of sometimes different trainings you sit on and they're like, well, just see more faces. I'm like, okay, but give me the meat and potatoes. Like, I want, like, give me a step by step guide that I can take and I can mold. So this is what I was on my heart, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. And so I will tell you what, setting up for this 100 face day, it was a whirlwind. And when I tell you I was on a different frequency, it was a different frequency because I was doing things, I was creating stuff. Like my maximizer is my number one strength. So I tweak everything and I spend a lot of energy. Like my unit wants to get me a shirt that says tweaker, like hashtag tweaker on it, right? But I can spend so much time. But it was just coming together beautifully. And when I got back, I was like, okay, I know I need to have some skin in the game. You guys feel that? Like whenever you're doing something, you're like, if you have skin in the game, you're more apt to really make a go of it. And I could have invested in a ton of product, right? But that to me wasn't going to be enough because I'm a high seller. I move a ton of product. If I would have gotten, $10,000 worth in, I'd have been like, I'll sell it next month. It's fine, right? If it didn't work out. So I love to give gifts. And one of the biggest things, I'm like, I know women love free and a chance to win some designer. So I put on my big girl pants and I went shopping at TJ Maxx. And I will tell you what, I got a Kate Spade bag that was normally $400 on clearance for 60. I got Betsy Johnson earrings and matching necklace, normally 60 bucks for 12. Okay, like I was getting all this stuff. My prize pack, you guys, which everything's listed in my boards exactly what it was in there. You'll be able to see that was worth over $700. I spent maybe 150 on all of it, okay? Because I'm a bargain shopper. But what was so neat was that when I launched it, when I announced it, I had that and I showed people and they geeked out. They were so excited because honestly, what woman right now is going to go out and treat herself to $700 worth of stuff? Really? Right? Yeah. I don't think none in my circle are right now. They're just like, give it to me for free. And so for me too, the that was the skin in the game because ultimately, if it didn't pan out, I was not going to want to have a conversation with my husband why I now have new purse and a new Stanley and new jewelry and everything else. Not that he really cares, but let's be real. Like I use the wrinkle cream enough. I don't need to have more coming to Jesus meetings with him. Okay. So I'll tell you what, that was great. And so what happened was I also was like, okay, how can I start hyping people up? Because how many times do we get really excited about something, we announce it, and we're like, well, two people comment. Like, why aren't they excited? You guys, it's not that people aren't excited and on board. It's just that they haven't seen it enough. So 3 days prior to, okay, so the Saturdays, that was 2 weeks before I was doing my day. It was Wednesday before. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start putting out some teasers. And again, on my boards is the template and all of the graphics. So you'll be able to see them. And I was like, huge announcement Saturday at 8 a.m. And it was like hint number one. And it had just a little mark of the Kate Spade. And then I did 12 different teasers over the course of the next 3 days, and I strategically placed them out. Excuse me. I had, and I am going to be very honest too. When you do these teasers, you have to put them on your story, on your personal Facebook page, and on your VIP page, especially your story, because most people aren't going to see it on your regular page if you don't have the traction going. Okay. I also sent a huge project broadcast to all of my customers saying, get ready. Huge announcement coming. I had people at my 5 a.m. workout class going, what is this? Like, and then of course, all the other ladies are like, what are you talking about? What are you? And I'm like, I'm not telling you a thing. Like, you have to watch my video at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning to figure out what is going on. I had so many people vested in just what the heck was happening. Okay. And this is why it's important. The buzz was already going. People were like getting excited about it. Right. So then when I announced it, I did a YouTube video. I wanted to make sure it was about 5 minutes long. So I did not want to go live. It also drives people to your YouTube channel. Okay. That's just a little trick there. And so it took me like an hour to record to get it down to 5 minutes. Because if you can tell, I have the gift of gab and I get excited. But I got it down to 5 minutes. And in that video, which is posted in my boards as well, you'll be able to watch it. I told everybody what it was, what the big deal was, that we were doing a 100 face day. We were breaking a company record, where it was going to be held, the gifts that I was giving away, the grand prize pack. I told everybody the time slots. So because it was doing 100 faces, I had time slots at 8 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2, 4, 6, and 8. People could come. All right. And I was doing glass skin facials. It was the same thing every single session. And then what I did, you guys, is I had a Google form, which you can copy out of my boards if you want, and that if they filled it out, because I wanted people to RSVP, if they filled it out and they also put that they were bringing friends before I reached out to them, they were going to get 10 extra entries into the drawing. You guys, I had 12 people fill it out like within 5 minutes. And I was like, cha-ching, like it's already starting. This is awesome. I was so excited. So then, you guys, it was a matter of continually posting it, right? And getting it in front of people and saying, oh, I now need this many people or this many people. And I did not count RSVPs unless they had filled out the Google Doc. If they had messaged me back and said, I'm totally coming, I might bring so and so, I did not count them. Because, you think about it, it's a third, right? Mary Kay Ash always says a third. It's not magic, it's math. I didn't want to get hung up and be like, oh, I have 150 people coming. And really, I had 5, right? Because they said, and things change. And so, you guys, I will tell you what, leading up to that day, I did reach out after reach out after reach out. I did follow ups. And some people, I think, when they see it, they think like, oh, well, she reached out to 100 people and 100 people came. I don't know. No, no, no. I don't have those finalized stats, but you guys, I reached out to over 500 people. And yes, I got ghosted. Yes, I got told no. But I will tell you what, it was amazing the conversations that it started, because not only did I get some no's, I got some orders, right? Like people like, I can't come, but I need to reorder. Or, oh my gosh, Allison, can we get together, at a later date? Absolutely. And so there was so much that came out of it. And you're going to see in my boards the verbiage that I use. I had my first initial text, I had my follow up. I even had a one that if somebody said, oh, I can't make it, it said something along the lines of like, oh, I totally understand, but if something changes, just let me know because it's going to be all hands. I mean, faces on deck, LOL. Here's my address below. I had people who said they couldn't come actually came that day, just because of that message. It was so awesome. Another thing I will say is the day of, it ran so smoothly in the setting up. You guys, you can tell I'm a super high I personality on the DISC like spectrum of things. But I had a friend who goes, oh my God, are you a C? Because everything's so organized. I was like, oh my gosh, like praise the Lord. You guys, I'm not kidding you. My I's here, my D, my S are here, my C is way down here. Okay. But I tell you what, I knew what had to be done to make this run smoothly, right? In order for me to have a good time, to really give who I was and what our company is to these ladies, I knew that C had to come and everything had to be organized. So I chose to do it in my home. I had a balloon arch. I have this big chalkboard, which you can count down. Like we did a whole countdown. I had somebody make me little cookies that had 1 to 100 on them. I had a table with all the prize on it. I had ended up having 2 people help me that day, and help is imperative. Number one, I had somebody help me in the kitchen, which was my mom. She refilled all the food, and all the food was finger food. It also had, I only just had small plates, so it was enough to feed people, keep them non-hangry, but it didn't interfere if they brought it to the table. Okay. And then I also offered coffee, orange juice, milk, or water. That was it. And I only had like 1 gallon of milk and 1 gallon of orange juice. It was fine. Most people just wanted water anyways. Okay. Um, and then I had another girl, one of my girls on my team. She actually was there for most of the day, and she was the person who helped me when I was explaining product and like putting it on their trays or on their cotton swabs. It really allowed me to teach and go through and cut down on time. And one thing I will say is when I did the glass skin facial, I did, let me share with you, I did our time wise set, and I had our sample. Okay, I had our sample. And we started with the oil-free eye makeup remover, the micellar water. We then went to the cleanser. I then did the microdermabrasion. Okay. I did not do the pore minimizer within the microdermabrasion. I just did the microderm. Then we did the facial peel. And while we did the facial peel, that is when it was my marketing time. And I don't know if anybody does marketing, like some people does a ticket game, a purse game, they do Mrs. F Cab. I have what's called this pink sheet. And again, this is on the boards, but this is how I explain Mary Kay and what it is and pink. And each one stands for something different. And then it asks them a question. Okay. It asks them a question and it makes them think. And I'm like, and you can write it down and I'll wait. There's going to be some people who are like, I'm not writing this down. But then it's like, oh, they write it down. It's great. And that's what we did there. Took up the facial peel off. And then we finished with the rest of the tie wise. And then what I did is I did the foundation. I did the primer and the CC cream. And I did not have a brush for every single person. I had one sitting at every single like station, but I told them they could just feel the brush, not to use it. But they'll get an idea. And I will tell you what, people loved it. They had a clean face, and then they were able to try part of the makeup. Most of the people took the CC cream home, and then guess what? They wanted to book a second appointment for a dash out the door look. It was like giving a taste of the next thing, right? One thing I forgot to mention is when I brought everybody in, you guys, when I brought everybody in, when they came to the door, I had said, I'm like, hey, thank you so much for coming. Please feel free to grab a seat and go get some food. All right. My husband made a joke. He's like, how are you going to fit everybody in? Because he's like, you want to hear everybody's life story from kindergarten. And I was like, oh my, like, it's so true. And so what I did and what I told people was like, oh my gosh, like, I so want to hear about that. I want to catch up. Let's schedule a coffee date. That way we can really connect. And they were like, oh my God, yeah, absolutely. There was only maybe two people who didn't quite get the hint or the memo, but we just walked with them to the food. Okay. So that's how I did it. They sat down. I would say within every session, I started within 5 to 10 minutes of the starting time. You guys, it lasted like an hour. Everyone was in and out within an hour to hour and a half. It was awesome. Like we kept it moving. One really cool thing that I did, and this might be something that you want to do in your sessions now, I've adapted it to there, is when we do introductions, I said, please tell me your name, and where you're from, and a dream that you have. And you guys, there was people at one point in time, there was 27 people sitting in my kitchen. 27 people. And when they all come in, right? And when you're with a group of women, excuse me, that don't really know each other, and they're kind of just like looking around, that was instant connection. And it also opened up their heart and their mind to what we have for them, right? Which is the opportunity that lies within Mary Kay. And the resounding theme was they want to retire, they want to take a trip, or they need, what was the other one? Retire, take a trip. Oh, they wanted peace. They wanted peace. Like that was their dream, is to have peace. Women like just connected and became friends. It was beautiful. And then what was crazy when I did the pink sheet, because this talks about, like your vision and things for the future, people were already open to it. And they're like, whoa, like you could just see the wheels turning. And I definitely prayed, and I do this every single time, that you speak your truth, right? And that was the truth I was speaking, was what I feel Mary Kay really was about for them. So within all of this, you guys, we did everything. Like I said, it was like within an hour. And then what was really neat is at the end of the session, this was their placemat. Okay. It's just a piece of paper. It's printed on both sides and it says, hello, gorgeous. And that's what their mirror and tray was on. But I told them, I said, go ahead and flip it over, because I am a steals and deals girl. This is my 100 face set sheet. All right. This is everything that we use. Now, I'm going to, hopefully you guys can kind of see it, but on this side here, it might be backwards. I have the 3 different skincare sets that they would be most apt to use, because I did have some women there. They had to be over 18. But I knew if they were 18 to 25, they were going to be using the basic line. Then when we all did the time wise, and then I explained about the repair set as well, that I'm turning 40. I'm now 40. Okay. But I was there. I was a month ahead. And I was like, I use this because I don't want to age, and I love it. And my husband and I have a lot of come into Jesus meetings, fight off the wrinkles, love it. And so I explained those 3 different. All in the middle here is all the, I call the extras we tried. So the micellar water and oil-free eye makeup remover, the microdermabrasion, the foundation package, and then also the facial peel. And I said, and you're going to notice that beside all these, there's numbers. Now that's what the retail cost is. But if you really want a banging deal, you're going to look over at this side here. And these were my 100 face day bundles. Okay. And what it did was I said, you go ahead and you pick what set you want, and you're going to get that set plus everything in here for that price that's over here. Okay. And then I went a step further because on top here, you're going to notice, and in the file, when you look at it, there's a makeup bag as well as a satin hands. On here, it says pick a free roll-up bag or satin hand set with any bundle deal. And this is true, you guys. The night before I was laying there and I'm like, 100 face day, why did I give $100 off? Like, I'm legit laying there in bed. I'm like, because it's on my 100 face day. And so when I woke up the next morning, I did the math and I told them, I said, so here's the deal. I'm like, you're not just going to get the pick one or the other. You're going to pick both of them. So you get your skincare set plus everything in the middle, and you get both the satin hands and the travel roll-up bag. And it's about $100 to $115 in free product. And everyone's like, oh my God. Like, they're so excited, right? I said, and I do it because I can. It's my business. You guys, I was still clearing between 100 and 150 on each of these in profit. Okay, if they pick that, right? And what was so neat about this, you guys, I told them, I said, so here's the deal. If you want one of those bundles, circle it. If by chance you just want one of these sets, go ahead and circle those. And maybe you just came here and you're like, okay, this was fun, but I really just need some mascara. Guess what? Go ahead and write it down here. This was their order form. Okay, this was their order form, because what happened was is they then went into my living room and I had a table set up. And on that table was all of the product we did that day. Okay. And so what was great is when they came in with this, I took an order form out, I put their name at the top, and they also brought me this sheet, right? So I had all their information at the top, and I wrote down what they had. Then I went along the line and boop, 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 boop. I put it in the bag. Every single person walked out with whatever they ordered that day. You guys, I did over 5,000 in sales that day, 42 orders. I was only missing one blending brush. I can't believe I was missing a blending brush, but it was okay. That was the only thing. So I want you to think about this, you guys. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, do I need to invest in the money? For me, like, I always keep a lot of stock. I did invest in a little bit more. It moved it because out of all those orders, if I would have CDS'd it, you guys, I would have had $300 in shipping. Or I would have had $300 in gas and my time and everything else. And what's crazy is that I've gotten so many reorders, are people reaching out saying, I'm so excited for your open house because I'm going to need product again. They started using it immediately, right? They could walk out the door and take it, and they were just as jazzed as I was. And so, and then I was able to take it and just enter it into the system as it was. Now, this pink sheet, you guys, too, I want to walk through when I just said, they brought me this sheet and this because it had their information on it. This is also my profile sheet. So on the back here, it has their name and their number and their address, their email they could put. And then it has questions that we did at the end. Okay. And the question says, what did you enjoy most about our time together? And I said, was it trying new products? Was it the cookies, the balloon art? Was it my puppies? Like, what did you enjoy most about our time together? I let them write it down. And then I said, the second question is, what would you like to learn more about when it comes to skincare or makeup? Would you like to learn more about, wrinkles or age spots? Would you like to learn about retinol or dash out the door looks, eyes, lips? What would you like to learn about? The next one was, would you like to do another session? Circle all options you would find fun. And I'm going to tell you guys, recently, well, I'd say the last like 3 or 4 months, I now say, what would you find fun? Because people want to have fun. And they're not going to tell you, like, why wouldn't it find you fun? Right? Like, you just say, what would you find fun? Circle all the options. And on here, I have skincare, makeup. I did have the makeover contest because that was in August, solo or group. I can't even count how many people circled all of them. They're like, I want to do all of it. So it'd be so much fun. Whatever, just circle it. Okay. Now what I do is I have skincare, makeup. I use this exact same sheet for my sessions every time I do one, and it says skincare, makeup, and then I do a color assessment with like color wheel in that. So that's different. But that's what I had for today or for that day. And then in this pink box here, it says when it comes to the opportunity within Mary Kay, what are you? Are you an A? I want to be the best customer. Are you a B? Let's buzz chat to learn more, which is like your career chat, right? I call it a buzz chat. Or are you C? I'm excited now. Let's just order my kit. Now, mind you, they've heard all about it right here. And I will tell you, every single person but one circled A. But you know what? I didn't let that get me down. They're all doing a buzz chat with me, okay? Like they are, because that's just women. They're just like, oh, I'm just gonna be, you know, conservative and circle that. Oh no, we're doing buzz chats. Um, and the thing is, anyone I've asked so far, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll totally do one for you. I'll do one with you." Like they just don't, they just circle something, okay? And then on the bottom here, it has a place for referrals. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When you're doing that many faces and that short amount of time, it was about closing the sale that day. Okay, it was about closing the sale that day. I didn't have time to open up my calendar. I didn't have time, to schedule next appointments, but they already told me. They told me, and guess what? They're connected with the product, they're connected with the experience. They want more. So the power's in the follow-up when it comes to, your booking your parties or your follow-up parties, and then any of your buzz chats. Now, how many of you guys would love to hear some like hard stats of the day and of the week? Yeah, y'all do, whether you want to or not. Okay, so I'll tell you what, I ended up doing 101 faces, which is, I'll tell you that story, how that came to pass. But that day I had 42 orders, 5,042 in sales. By Saturday, I did over 9,000 in sales. Okay, just from people who didn't order that day, or maybe they couldn't make it, and they wanted to order. Just I had people reordering. I had one woman, she ordered $444 that day. She called me on Monday. I didn't even have to call her, and she's like, "Hey, I want to get together with you for makeup. Can we get together Friday?" I was like, "Sure." Ordered another $150. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure I'm recruiting her because I love her. But also 94 bookings. 94 bookings. I had 53 people do the makeover contest, and then 41 want to do solo, group, whether it be skincare or makeup. I'm still doing those shows, and I'm still booking them because some they just couldn't do it right away, right? And so how many of you guys would like just 20 bookings from one day, right? And I'm going to tell you guys, this is not magic. Like, there's nothing magical about me and what I did. I just worked in my strength. And I gave them who I was authentically. And if they liked it, great. If not, that's okay. I don't love them any less. I'm just going to say, happy wrinkles, I release you, and move on. Right? Like, that's what we got to do. And so, you guys, these are what the crazy stats are about it. And there's the power in the follow up. And it's just loving people also where they are at. And so I'm actually tracking this through for the entire year to see how many individuals become my team members, how many bookings I have, how many sales gone. So their stats are going to be like so going to be so intricate for you guys to see over the next year. And yes, my 100 face day, it created incredible momentum because also you guys, about 60 of those 101 faces were my current customers. I got about 40 new customers. 40 new customers. I mean, how crazy is that? And so many times we get so hung up on the people, like, do we know the people or do we have the people? It is as simple as saying, "Hey, will you bring a friend? Someone new to me." Because for every person you know, they know 200 to 2,000 people you do not know. And you guys, I want to be real with you. There's 333.3 billion people in this world. There is so much business to be had. And so you could get so excited by even just looking at your text messages or your phone or your Facebook and seeing your friends and being like, "Oh my gosh, I have 500 friends." That means there's like, do the math, I don't know, 100,000 people I don't know out there. Like, it's so great. Yes, and everybody has skin. And then I will say, you guys, I did spend the time at the next week for everybody who came, and I had their information. I did send them a handwritten thank you note. Just thank you so much for being a part of my 101 face day. And in them, I sent these little affirmation or these little bees. And like this one says, it's okay to rest, not to quit. And I just pilled them out. I'm like, God, you're gonna know who gets what. You're gonna in there. And this one says, you've made it through tough days before, you'll do it again. I had so many people message me and like that was so awesome. I've gone to people's houses and guess what? This little bee is on the refrigerator or it's on their counter. Right. One thing I would do different though is with that, I would probably put in this receive $10 off, a gift from me for participating. I just created it's a business card with my picture on it. And I would probably put that in there now. I just created this for my chemo pack thank yous. That's hindsight. And if you want that template, I can give you that template too. But one thing is for sure as well, you guys, whenever you're doing any sort of graphics, you're reaching out to people, make sure your picture is on there because it is proven that 80% less will throw out something with your picture on it. Think about it. You get an invite, you're like, oh, that's nice, and you throw it out. But if there's a picture, you're like, oh, that's cute. I can't throw their face out. And then you put it in a file and then you come across it. Same thing. Okay. So that's kind of the Reader's Digest version of all of this. And so I would open it up now. Is there anybody that has questions or comments or anything that you want me to dive a little deeper on?
I want to say I love it. I love all of it. And you're going to send me that. So now listen, you know my rule on this call. She's going to send me the boards. We're going to ask questions now, but she's going to send it. We're going to put this recording on YouTube. Probably where you learn about Lunch and Learn is where you'll find it. Or go to the Lunch and Learn Facebook page. We always want to be respectful of our guest speakers and not blow up her private messaging. Everything. I promise. You always have to, typically it's Friday. It will probably be, I always say till Monday because my office gal is on a little sneak away with her husband. So it probably will be Monday that I'll put the boards up there when Allison gives them to me, but the
Oh yeah,
recording and
but
all that.
actually,
So
okay, hold on one second. I'm gonna
yeah.
freeze for 1 second. I'll put it in the chat. If you guys want me to put it in the chat.
Yes, that
Okay,
would be
I'm on
awesome.
my phone, so I might freeze for a second. So get your questions ready. If you have questions, give me 1 second. Let me go to my boards. Stay. Okay, I'm back. And let's see. It like freezes. It's kind of wonky.
Yes.
But let me see if I can paste that in there. There it is.
Love it.
Yes, and then you all have it early because you were on.
Yes, you'll all get on there. You can copy that. It's going to be amazing. And oh my gosh, Allison, thank you for one being go get and being willing to share all of that to make our lives easier. Because sometimes we hear an idea and then I don't know to integrate it and think about all the different things. You already did that, and so thank you for that. Does anybody else have a question? You'll have to unmute because I did mute you. Make sure I don't miss anyone. Oh, I love everything in the chat. Oh, I love that. I know she did amazing.
It is sweet.
I know. If you don't have a question, or if you, I don't know, some of you I know Alice, you might want to do a shout out or affirm her or anything like that. Feel free to unmute. Sorry, I should have said that at the same time too.
Good.
Oh my Lord.
And you guys, I will tell you too, I have no problem if you do have questions or you message me. Just know I'll get back to you when I can. Okay. I believe we're hashtag better together. So I
Yeah.
welcome that. Just yeah, but if it's not like within the minute, just know I probably saw it. I'll get back to you. Okay.
Yes. I love that. Thank you, everybody. That's so nice. I love the chat and now it's all open. Oh my gosh, this was
I
incredible.
have a quick question.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Nancy Pease. I'm out of San Francisco Bay Area, California, and I'm curious on how did your clients respond to the prizes? Like, how did you end up giving away the prizes?
Oh, yeah, that's a really great question, Nancy. So my initial thought was that it was on Saturday, right? My initial thought was I was gonna give it away Sunday. But I realized that, like, wow, I have a lot of follow up to do because if people came, they got an entry. If they brought a friend, they got an entry. If they RSVP'd before I messaged them, they got 10 entries. If they placed an order, they got one. If they booked a party, right? Like, so they got extra entries for all these things. And I'm like, I can't total this all up because I'm still following up with people. And so what I did is I went and I said, okay, the prize drawing is going to be done on it was Sunday the week after. Okay. So like a week and a day after. And hindsight, I would have announced that right away. It was kind of like, I'm gonna draw Wednesday. I'm like, I'm so sorry, I'm still following up with people and still connecting. It's gonna be Sunday, officially Sunday at this time. And part of it was is I was creating these project broadcasts and realizing that, man, I should have tagged and grouped people a certain way. Okay. But people were so excited. And so have a specific time that you are going to do a live on your Facebook page. And I did it strategically on my VIP page. And on my personal page, I said, hey, drawing for this live. If you're not if you don't have a current Mary Kay consultant or and you'd like to be a part of this and see what the hype is, go to my page. And so I put the link there, and I had so many people who honestly didn't even come that day join my group and are now customers. Right? Like it was so great. And so I did do a live. I did the Wheel of Names. Like it's a free wheelofnames.com. I put everybody in there, and the hype was crazy. And what's so funny is I had a mother-daughter. I actually had met the mother at my workout class. She had brought her daughter, and the mother ended up winning. And the daughter was like, oh my God. And the next day she goes, my daughter called me and I thought somebody was dying because she's like, Mom, Mom. She's like, you won. She's like, what are you talking about? Calm down. She's like, you won. Can I have the purse? Like, no, you can't have my purse. But no, people were so excited. And the thing is, too, you guys, throughout all of it, like leading up to it, and even after I was giving teasers, like, oh, because I had a Stanley, I'm like, wouldn't this cute Stanley look good with your outfit? I had a gift card to Rosie's, our local coffee shop. I'm like, who wants to have coffee with me? And, like all these fun little things, hyping it up. So people were vested and they wanted it. I mean, it was a good prize pack. Let's be real. I mean, it was good stuff. But the more excited you are to show them, the more they're like, oh, this is something. Right. And a lot of women too. They're not going to buy that for themselves, but they deep down they want it. And so if they can win it, they're going to be a part of it. Oh, does that answer your question, Nancy?
Yes. Oh my God, I'm excited just listening to you about prices.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
so
that's
fun.
great because that's the part that I guess holds me back sometimes. Is like, would they really love it? How excited would they be? I know I'm excited, so that's nice to hear that. Just your excitement will bring excitement, whether they like it
Mhm.
or not, right? So
Yes.
thank
Well,
you
and I
for
mean
that. That was
the
perfect.
purse was black and it had like I don't remember exactly what was on it, but I'm like, this will go great for fall and into the winter. And here I'm thinking, I'm like, this actually wouldn't go with my color wheel, but I'm gonna talk it up and they're gonna love it. And they did.
That's great. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, and here's the great thing. Everybody likes to win something, even if they don't like what they're winning. We just like to win.
Yeah.
And so even if it's not something they would use, they can gift it to somebody or and especially if they become your new team member, they can use it as a hostess gift. So you got to
Mhm.
think bigger.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I love that.
Yeah, even one of in the prize there, I actually had, how we get prizes from Mary Kay. It was that cinch bag, that jewelry cinch bag. I was
Mm-hmm.
never going to use that. It was still in the package. I threw that in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I put a
Mm-hmm.
Confidently You perfume in. Or my
Yeah.
local boutique had a hat and a like an overlay, $5 a piece. They were clearanced out. I was like, heck yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fun. That's so fun. Okay, ladies. Well, thank you so much for being on here. Thank you, Allison, for all your tidbits, all your training, your heart and passion, and go good spirit. And we will get all of this out to you, I promise. Hang tight. We'll get it to you, and that way you can. I know sometimes I like to rewatch things a few times so I can, you know, get it how I need it to be. But everyone have an incredible Thursday. We'll be back here next week.
Thank
Bye
you.
guys. Thank
Bye,
you.
my friends.
Thank you.